Harold was born on January 14th, 1946. He was a middle-class child in a middle-class family. There wasn't like much said about it other than that. His dad was like a truck driver, and his mom was a stay-at-home wife, a housewife. And it just seemed pretty normal, you know? Except things got hard for the family when Harold was around like 17 years old. His mom, her name was Vera, she was diagnosed with like an incurable lung cancer. Not great, right? So some sources said that Harold was actually his mom's like primary caretaker. And then there were other sources that said like that he would just like watch helplessly as his mom lie in bed in agonizing pain and just like slowly dying from this cancer. And he was just like watching it, right? Well, I guess Vera's doctor would do house calls, you know, where they would come to the family home. They would give Vera morphine injections to relieve the pain and like make her just feel more comfortable. Many would say that this had a lasting impression on Harold. Like he would watch the doctor give his mom these morphine injections and he was just fascinated. I mean, maybe, I don't know, observation, maybe something darker like clicked in his brain because years later, Harold would use that very same drug to kill hundreds. Harold's mom ends up passing away and you know, life goes on, right? Well, Harold decides that he actually wants to go into the medical field, right? So at the age of 19, he goes to Leeds University and decides he wants to become a doctor. So it was around this same time that he meets and starts dating a 17-year-old department store employee that he met on the bus. Her name was Primrose. You don't hear that name often, huh? Primrose? Her last name was like Oxtoby. Primrose Oxtoby? Do something with that name. That's like a fragrance name. I'm wearing Primrose Oxtoby. Well, that was his girlfriend, and they began dating. And, you know, it wasn't even that long after they started dating that Primrose gets pregnant, right? But that's okay. Harold was determined to finish school, so he was trying to finish school. He was trying to hustle and work so he could take care of the situation that he was in. Now, because this is the olden days, you had to get married if you got pregnant, you know? So they got married before the baby was born, and then their daughter, her name was like Sarah, arrived. And then shortly after, they had another kid named Christopher. Harold still like stayed on track and he finished school. He ended up graduating in 1970. There's like family photos you can see and he looks so happy. He's hanging out with his children. Just looks like this perfect, happy little family with the kids, you know? And everything just looks normal, but here we are. So obviously it wasn't. Bailey. After med school, Harold started working at Pontefract General Infirmary. And here's where things got a little, you know, suspicious. Like people just like started dying, which sure, it's normal because that happened here. But like all of a sudden, a lot of people started dying, like a lot. Now, the weirdest part was that these deaths always seemed to happen when Harold was on the night shift.